What's going on? Man, we're so happy for y'all again. Sitting here, a little bit of 9 o'clock Eastern time, coming to y'all for another live show where you get a little bit of insight from the fellas. We're going to have a special guest. I'm going to let Mr. Dante talk about the special guest, but I'm Jarrell, and all I got to say is, Dante, I don't like to admit it, but it's looking scary that Tampa might be Sports Town, USA, at least for a year. At least for a year. Now take that Florida State hat off. I know they just beat UNC, the
You
number
better
five
believe it.
team in the country,
You better
but
believe it.
they couldn't beat Miami. Hold on. Dante, you crying? You see that in the background? You crying, bro? Do I need to get you some tissues? Do I? All right. I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves, and then we gonna hit it off from there. Dante, I'll throw it to, or Fabe, I'll throw it to you, and then we can let Dante introduce our special guest as well as himself.
All right. So, man, I'm Dante, DP. I want to introduce someone that I coached 2 years with, became really good friends with. Dude always had my back, even though he was a Steelers fan. He always showed love. But let me introduce to you guys BJ. Go ahead, BJ. Go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
What's
Move your
up,
camera,
guys?
bring your camera down a little bit.
Down like that.
Yeah,
All
there we
right. Sorry, first time on the internet here. Thank you guys for having me. Just looking forward to this. A bunch of big sports fan. Love to hear the opinions from some guys down south that know what it's like up here in PA too. So, thank you guys. Really looking forward to this.
All right.
go. Hey, Faye, while we at it, go ahead and tell everybody about our special segment that you do. All right. Like Jarrell said, before we get started, we thank you guys for tuning in. We thank you for rewatching the videos, and we appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button and that like button. When you do that, that helps out our channel. That we may be able to reach more people that crave sports and want to hear some good content. So we appreciate that. So let's get right into it, man. So our first topic is the biggest NFL team, NFC or AFC, far as surprise or disappointment, in your opinion. So we'll go ahead and let Jarrell go first.
Mm. So I was ready to come in here and say the Cleveland Browns was my biggest surprise, and not that I needed them to win today. The only thing I needed them to do was have a good showing, and they boo booed all over that field. Woo! And I'm talking stank. I don't know what they ate. I don't know what they did, but whatever that came out, that wasn't even feasible to be on the field. Baker getting benched in the third quarter, it was like, all right, listen, we ain't doing nothing. But I'm gonna go with one of my big surprises, and I think this team was supposed to have a really good year last year. Had some real injuries, but I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts. I did not expect Philip Rivers to come in off the rip, being turnover central the last few years out in L.A., San Diego, whichever one they are or going to be or was whoever they are. He was just turnover central. I always liked his fire, always liked his passion, but I did not think that he was going to come out and do some damage. I like the way that defense is playing, although they had to come back today from behind. But I like the way the defense is playing. I think Matt got hurt early in the year. I didn't think that they were going to be able to deal with or sustain that, and they've done a great job. And I don't know if it's just coaching. I don't know if Philip Rivers just got a chip on his shoulder. I don't know if he's thinking about I need to play a couple more years because I got like 6 kids. You know, I mean, the dude got like I think his 6 boys. Like, oh boy, you gonna need to keep playing for about 5, 10 more years because them bills gonna go up. But I don't know what it is. But he's playing efficient football, and I can't say that that's Philip Rivers' kind of tendency ever. I don't think he's ever been a consistent football player. I think he's talent wise one of the best, but I think he throws those untimely interceptions that you leave or leaves you scratching your head. So that's my surprise team. Um, on the flip side, I don't even want to say it. I really don't want to say it. The Cowboys. The Cowboys have been a disappointment, um, and it's not because of talent. Um, I don't like the coaching hire of Mike McCarthy. I thought the Jets should have picked him up because at the time the Jets did not have a running back. Seeing what he did when he was in Green Bay, didn't run the ball well. Um, Relied on the what I would say the quarterback in the receiving game way too much, and that's what he's doing. I'm not going to say Dak's injury had anything to do with him, but at the end of the day, if I'm paying Ezekiel Elliott top running back money, he's got to touch the ball 25 times a game. I'm not saying running the ball 25. I'm saying he's got to touch the ball 25 times. If you look at the games, he looks uninterested. Last game after Dak got hurt, okay, he looked interested. He looked uninterested. I don't know if he just doesn't like the game plan. I don't know what it is. That's not professional. That's garbage. And he's lucky he got that big contract because if I was Jerry Jones, I'd be finding a way to ship his little butt out. Because I don't care what your role is, you got to try to ball out. The defense is, I mean, they made Baker Mayfield look like he was Tom Brady in his prime. I mean, just throwing darts wherever he wanted to. It didn't matter. It was going to hit somebody, and it was going to be on his team. I mean, it's like, all right, listen, if we're having a terrible season, let's go against the Cowboys defense and let's get right. That's what it is. It's a get right game. Dante, you remember? Shoot,
Hey,
when we was at Seton Hill, hey man, we got to get right. Okay, well, go against the Cowboys defense, and that's a get right game.
hey
So
man.
I'm really disappointed, really disappointed. Um, but it's okay. I mean, the NFC East is garbage. I mean, we got literally nobody winning any games. The Giants are garbage. The Eagles are garbage this year. Uh, the the Cowboys are we're all garbage. But at the end of the day, all we got to do is win that division and get a shot in the playoffs.
And gonna get
But
murdered.
hey, listen. By the end of the year, we might be alright. We might be alright. I'm gonna blame it on COVID. COVID messed some things up. Mike McCarthy ain't get to do some things. I'm trying to make excuses after I just beat him down, but nah. In being 100% honest, I'm so disappointed in the Cowboys. I really thought that they were gonna be able to do something. Fabe, I throw it to you.
Um, I was just looking through the standings or whatever because I really haven't watched a lot of football, but I was gonna point to that saying that oh my gosh, the NFC East is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And it's crazy because it's like Dallas, it seems like forever has been that team that's like this is the year. Every year, everybody, this is the year. This is the year. And even 4 games in when they're like 1-4 or 2 and whatever, it's still the year. It's still the year. It's so that's kind of insane to me that they actually could have really really had a stranglehold on the division, and this is how it's looking. You know, So the surprise team for me, I guess most people won't say it's a surprise, but I think it's still a surprise to see, and maybe because Tom Brady isn't there anymore. But I gotta say Buffalo. Buffalo's doing
Mm.
really, really well, and you have the Patriots sitting here at 2-3, and Buffalo 4-1. Like it's crazy considering the Patriots had pretty much 20 years of greatness and stranglehold on that division, and now it seems that Buffalo finally got them a quarterback and some players to get things done. Uh, Geez, you know, I think it goes with what we talked about this year. To bring it up again, or actually Cleveland could be more of a surprise because you know what, the teams that are bad are awful. They're absolutely awful. Like there's you see this wide gap in the NFL of the teams that are awful. So really, to me, there's no surprise that the teams that are bad are really, really bad. I'll put it like that. There's no surprise.
I'll be in the bathroom. Boo boo.
So toss it to one of you fellas next.
All right, BJ, you can go ahead. You the guest.
All right. Shout out. Fabe kind of stole my little surprise, the Bills, so I'll just touch a little on them. I got another one, though. But the Bills, I don't know, I'm a big fantasy football player, and I try to do a little research, but I tell you, every expert, number one bust, they had it on their list. Josh Allen.
Yep.
Josh Allen. He's a bust. He's a bust.
Yep.
He's a bust. Apparently, at least not for the first quarter or so of the season. He's been tearing it up with Stephon Diggs, great pickup from the Vikings, and you see what that's done to the Vikings in departing Minnesota. And he's got Cole Beasley as his number two. I don't know, Cole Beasley or John Brown. I don't think either one of those guys is a number two. Good number three, yeah, but with no number two, I think he's doing a heck of a job. And Fave also touched on this, the division. They got the Pats and the Finns twice still. So they can win it. They can win their division just by winning those games. So my biggest surprise, though, then, I'm glad Fave kind of stole the Bills because I looked at the standings and I was completely shocked because I didn't get to see a ton of football with kids playing baseball and stuff. But you guys know the Chicago Bears are 5-1?
Really?
The Chicago Bears. I had no idea. They've transitioned to Nick Foles at the helm. I think he's a winner, but I can't. They won 2 games with Mitch Trubisky. So, I mean, it's crazy. That just shows Khalil Mack is an absolute stud, and that defense got it going on. If Chicago can score 20, they're going to win. I mean, it's first to 20 when you play Chicago, and it looks really bright for them this year. And Faves touched on this too, not to repeat it. The bad teams are bad. The Bears got 5 wins. They play Minnesota twice, who's got 1 win. So they should be able to take care of a little bit of business there. And the extra playoff team this year, the Bears should be a playoff team. Let me go to my biggest disappointment. I don't know which one to choose here. Being a Steelers fan, yeah, I'm going to have to say the Pats. I'm going at them. And as a coach myself, you like to think that you have a pretty big impact on the game, or at least you could have an impact on the game. Life after Tom Brady ain't so good for Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. And that's not a knock on Cam Newton at all, because I think Cam's a stud and a special athlete, but they can't adjust to his style. If they're forcing Cam to be Tom Brady, that ain't ever going to work. Cam is not Tom. Cam is Cam. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to use his skill set. Different than Tom's, but use his skill set. I just don't get it. I'm glad to see Belichick fail, though. I'm not too disappointed in that.
Listen, you're talking to two, not one, but 2 Patriot fans.
Cam Newton
Jarrell
fans.
knows.
Cam Newton fans.
Nah.
I'm a
Let that
Patriots
override the
fan.
Pats thing. Ah,
I'm a Patriots fan.
I live with the Patriots fan. My oldest son, for some reason, he just found it nice that he could be a Patriots fan. I think to butt heads with me, but
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I like those picks, man. I like those picks. I I will say I can agree. I thought the Patriots are going to be a little bit more formidable. I don't know if it's, you know, Cam coming in so late and, them still not realizing. But hey, they, you said it. There's an extra playoff team. All it takes is that little bit of edge and somehow make it in. And who knows what's going to happen. The
yeah,
standard
exactly.
is the standard.
I
Standard
love
is
Coach
the
T. I love Coach T. For some reason in Pittsburgh, they got a lot of haters on him, and even more, even people that like him hate the quotes. I love the quotes. What do you think you're getting from an NFL coach? He going to tell you what's going on? Nah,
the
a good
standard
one
is the
sure as heck
standard.
won't.
Nope. 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 Keep everything in house. The standard is the standard.
Absolutely.
My favorite quote from him is splash plays. We didn't have enough splash plays.
That's right.
I love that. But yeah, he. I mean, man, be honest. We talked about this before, but I think he is in the top three of best coaches in the NFL today.
Absolutely.
Behind, I would say second behind Belichick. But Mike Tomlin, man, hey, if they ever get rid of him, bruh, he can come back to Tampa.
I
I
love it.
take.
Love it, love it, love it. Let me know another knock that he gets up here. Oh, he's a player's coach. What do you want? You want the players to hate the coach? You could say, is there one like that? Is Belichick probably one of the one and only that's lasted time? You know, Tomlin, the players love him. So I think they're going to do what he wants to do, and he wants to win.
Exactly. If
And
your players love you, they will play for you. They'll run through
Right.
you.
and what's so funny about that is, you know, majority of us have been coached or coached, um, but most coaches get fired because they say, "Oh, that coach done lost the locker room." Well, but
Uh,
but wait, Mike Tomlin got his locker room. So what you mean? Do,
he,
do, do you want him to be hated in the locker room? So then you can fire him and say he didn't have the locker room, but now he has the locker room. But now you like, oh no, nah, here's what? Come on now, you can't have it both ways.
exactly. It's just such a double standard for him. I don't know why. Coach, well, you know, if you've coached, Dante's coached, I don't know if Fave has. Coach, you never win. You never win with the
Nope.
fans, even at the high school and little kid levels. You don't win with parents or fans, whoever. You just, and that's why I love him even more because he just does what he does. The players love him. His two worst seasons are 8-8, and one of them was without his number one player.
Third
Or
string quarterback.
yeah, third string quarterback. I mean, it just he's awesome. I love what a great hire.
We can
Unbelievable.
we can probably go through the Browns would love his overall record. The Dolphins would love his overall record. I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, when you look at this, the Giants would love his overall. The Jets would love his overall record. Many teams, and I'm like, when you're in the upper echelon every year in and year out, one team wins a championship. That's it. If I'm in contention every year, I'm happy. You should be happy. We all want to win the big one. But if you're in contention, that's all you can ask for. At the end of the day, your players are going to take you to the top in contention, whatever it is. As a coach, it's really your job to not really get in the way and maximize everybody's ability. I think that's what Mike Tomlin has done. I remember when I'm sitting there listening to stupid 93 7 a fan, the Steelers lose a game. Oh, that Mike Tomlin got to go. What are you talking about? Just shut,
Absolutely.
just shut up.
They
What do
don't
you
drug.
mean?
They
But
don't drug.
you know, they, they are passionate fans. I just say passionate in a negative way.
Yeah. I guess when you go back to that fans, that's the word. And I think
Dante.
we forget. Sorry, I just let me touch on fans. Fans, it's short for what? Fanatic. So if you're a fan, you got a little crazy in you. At least some of them. So, and those are the ones that get heard the most usually. So, all right. Sorry, didn't mean to jump on you, Dante. Go ahead, my man.
Nah,
Oh,
you
nah.
good. You good. You good. You good.
Um. All right. So yeah. Sorry. I mean, I got us on the coaching, so that's my fault. But let's get back on it. So for me, surprise is in the AFC. Uh, but it's not a surprise in a good way. But it's not a disappointing. I'm not. It's not a disappointing team or a team. I'm like, wow, I can't believe they're doing that. But I'm surprised that the Chargers, because they have been a team the last 2 weeks that have been up by over 14 points, and you're like, man, this game is completely over. One was against the Bucks, and the Bucks came back and beat them. Great. Tom Brady, what can I say? Tampa Bay. Then the Saints for my Eric. I just knew. I was like, man, I'm going to bed. Kiss the wife. I'm going to bed. This game over. Next day, I wake up. I'm talking to my brother. We talking about the game. He's like, the Saints came back and won. I said, what? No, they didn't. I went on ESPN. I was like, I can't believe it. I'm like, how do you get up by that much and you allow a team to come back? And so that's been a very surprise because I really didn't think that they would do that well, but they have been playing really good half of football. Um, and but they just can't finish the second half. And Justin, the quarterback, he has played pretty well. Like I think he's going to be a really good quarterback in the future, and I think they really got somebody that was able to replace him, um, and he's been playing really well. So I think that next year they gonna do some damage. The other team in the AFC I had was the Steelers. I'm very surprised that they're 4-0. I did not expect it. In my opinion,
Five and
um,
zero.
oh yes, I'm sorry, five. They should have took that L against the Browns, but the Browns was, as Jarrell was saying, they were stanking it up. But I'm very surprised because I did not see them. I did not see that happening. I know last year, before the season started, Ben was, kind of like on the fence, like I don't know if I want to play. I want to play. I don't know. So I thought as soon as he got injured and he was out, I was like, yeah, he's done. He's not coming back. And like I said earlier, off camera, off when we were talking or whatever, I seen something in him, and I was like, wow, he looks really, really good. He looks like he is on a mission, and he's trying to win the Super Bowl. So that was definitely a surprise. In the NFC, I had no surprises. Like I was not surprised by anybody. I just had a bunch of disappointments. So for the first one, the Eagles, 1-3. What are you doing? The last 2 years, you've been playing almost for a Super Bowl. This is the problem. They had the man in the locker room that everybody wanted to play for, Nick Foles, and they let him go. And now you see it in their record, and they can't win a game to save that. They can't win a game to save their life. The head coach about to get fired tomorrow, and they can't win a game to save him his job. And I'm just sitting there like, how do you come from all the way here and you fall down all the way down here? Like they are not even like you want to win, put the Eagles on your schedule. You need to go off. You need a contract game. You play the Eagles. That's where they at right now. You know, but they just are. I'm just like, wow, I can't believe it. And then the other team I had was the Vikings. The Vikings is one of the teams I had going to the conference championship, and right now, man, the Eagles and the Vikings. I don't know who's better. Like they're horrible, and I'm not sure what the issue is. I know they got rid. I know Stephon Diggs left, and I don't know why they couldn't figure it out. But hey, at the end of the day, like Mike Tomlin say, next man up. Our head coach used to, our defensive back coach and defensive coordinator used to say that all the time. Uh, hey, somebody, hey, next person up, let's go. And so somebody need to step up. Otherwise, they gonna be looking real foolish about that trade or how they lost him in the offseason. They did not replace him, thinking that they were good to go, and now it looks like they are like just yeah, they can't do nothing. So it's a rough year for them boys.
Hey Dante, so you kind of hit on it though. Think about the two biggest trades as far as receivers:
Is thinking the
Hopkins
same.
and Stephon Diggs. And where are the teams that traded them? And where are the teams that traded for them? That
Yep.
is that goes to show. I'm not saying that some guys aren't worth the expense, but sometimes you got to do the right thing even if it's going to cost you. Because one, you got rid of Deshaun Watson's good friend and best weapon. I would probably say arguably a top five receiver. And then Stephon Diggs, in my opinion, was the heartbeat. And I think what happened with Stephon is that they couldn't take him talking, and Kirk Cousins was getting more money at the time. So they needed to make sure that Kirk Cousins was, I guess, securing himself when it came to the receiver quarterback relationship, because Stephon Diggs was a monster, just like Hopkins was. But I mean, it just goes to show you, there's some talent that you don't want to get rid of, even if you got to pay it. Because I think Bill O'Brien, as they say, lost the locker room. I am not for coaches getting fired. I'm not. He got fired based on his GM abilities, not necessarily his coaching abilities. Because what he did to that locker room, people stopped following him. See, people stopped listening to him and playing hard. Now, I don't condone that. I don't like that because you're a professional. You signed up to play. You should play 100% no matter what. And that's your money on the line. I'm going to play my butt off because I want to get that next contract. But like we said, I think last week, when J.J. Watt, the heartbeat of the Texans, had a falling out with Bill O'Brien a few weeks earlier, or I think it was just a week earlier. I think that sealed the deal because, yeah, Bill O'Brien is Bill O'Brien, but at the end of the day, your heart and soul, your heart and soul of your team, your heartbeat, had an issue in which a dude is already not doing a great job. Perfect storm, you got to go.
See, I disagree with you, Jarrell. I'm okay. He should have been fired, and he should have been fired a long time ago. He is not an NFL coach. He need to go back to college and recruit somebody. Um, because he doesn't know something's going on in the locker room, and that that he just can't control, whatever it may be. But I don't understand why it took so long for them to get rid of him because how do you get rid of your top five? And I definitely think he is a top five receiver in the league, and you get him off your roster, and you get what? Oh, you didn't get nothing? What? Yeah, get your butt out of here. But
David
that's,
Johnson.
that's all I gotta say about that one. So let's go on to the next topic. The next topic, man. So we basically kind of already talked about this a little bit. Um, I was hoping and wishing and praying that the Steelers lost. However, they found a way to pull. they pulled. They rubbed the genie bottle and they got to win. I don't know how they did,
Oh,
but
wait, you saying how amazing it was that they won by 30? Is that what you're saying? Oh,
listen,
come on, man.
listen, listen. You May gosh, what's his
The
name?
Baker. The Baker.
Yes, Baker. Man, he could not throw a rock in a pond, and people was not catching the ball. People fumbling the ball. It was just horrendous. They were just terrible. But what were your thoughts on the Browns game? And I'll just go off and I'll say it first. Wow, that's all I would say. Whoever wants to take it. You
I
go ahead.
mean, I was getting ready to say, let's
Oh, go
throw it to
ahead.
BJ. Nah,
Yeah,
not me.
Okay,
Nah,
go
we
ahead,
gotta throw this
BJ.
to we
I
gotta throw
got
this to BJ.
no problem jumping in. This shouldn't take me too long. And just like Dante said, wow, I'm at a baseball game in the dugout. Check the score, 10-0. 2 minutes later, somebody says, "Hey, 17-0." 2 minutes later, hey, it's 24-0. It's just like it's too easy. It's the little brother, I guess. I don't know. I honestly thought, like some of you guys said, that it was going to be a much tougher game. There's a couple things, two things here. One, if Baker doesn't watch himself, he's just going to be another one of those names on that guy's Browns jersey with the other 20 quarterbacks in the last 20 years.
Tim Couch.
Yeah, Tim Couch, just Brady
Johnny
Quinn,
Manziel.
Yeah, Johnny Football gone. Jeff Garcia started it all. Uh,
Oh man, that's throwback.
I don't want to say this. I don't want to be too much of a fan, but it's a scary win for the Steelers because I think Ben had a good old 167 yards and one touchdown, and James Conner just had over 100 yards and one touchdown. The defense won the game. The offense didn't even have to show up today. It was like they didn't even have to show up. Minka showed Steelers don't make trades bit. Minka was the best first round draft pick they've made. Well, I know we got TJ Watt, but in a long time besides TJ. And big thing though too, the bad thing is Devin Bush. That's gonna hurt. They had like a once in a generation player in Shazier. We were lucky enough to get Devin Bush, and he's a special inside player, and he's just coming into his own. And now they're going to have to do without that. That's going to hurt. That worries me a little on the defense because the defense was clicking so well already. But they got enough wins and they got some time. Hopefully, it comes back together. But the Browns, they're the Browns, fighting the Bengals again for the bottom of the division.
Yep.
Who they say gonna beat them Bungles? Hey,
Everybody on their on everybody on their schedule.
so it's today was a little wild, man. I thought last year the Browns were gonna be back, and this year the Browns showed that they kinda are back. But then they play our division, and I said at first, I said, well, it was the first game of the year, and you know the Browns were trying to figure out everything, and Lamar Jackson was healthy, so okay, the Browns got a little mulligan, you know, and then after that they kind of took off and played well. Odell Beckham was playing well, Landry was playing well, um, so I was like, okay, and then all of a sudden this week comes up, and I'm like, all right, this is like the litmus test, right? I mean, we gonna see where you at. I mean, literally, you're going toe to toe with your division. Um, Miles Garrett, you basically lost your season the last time you played this team. Um, and I thought it was going to be close. I thought the Steelers were going to win, but I thought it was going to be a competitive game. And it turned out that the Browns, I mean, they stepped off the bus to get into that stadium, and it was bye bye butterfly. See you later, alligator. I mean, so I think that was hard to see and really hard to watch. Just how bad the Browns played. I mean, I don't know if you can. There's not many ways you can play a worse game, but when you basically get shut down in that way, you you might as well not have shown up. It should have been an air 7-on-7. Basically, you might have stopped yourself that way, I guess. But other than that, I mean, the Steelers are clicking. Um, they got some really good talent. I pull for James Conner just because of his story. I think it's awesome. He's a near Pittsburgh guy, goes to Pitt, gets an opportunity to play for the hometown team. So I think that story is just amazing, and they're just clicking on all cylinders. So I'm surprised at how lopsided the loss was. I'm not surprised about the loss, but hey, man, I'm scared for the Ravens. I love my Ravens. It makes me a little nervous. Um, Jackson isn't healthy at the moment, and the Pittsburgh Squealers. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't mean to call you guys the Squealers. Yes, I did. Um, but they're looking fantastic. I mean, they're looking like a top AFC team this year, looking to make a deep run in the playoffs. It's and when you get them into the playoffs, it I don't like them, but it's hard to beat them. Mr. Fade,
I didn't get a chance to watch the game, so Dante, I'll let you go, sir.
Hey, like I said, man, only thing I had to say about it was wow.
wow.
I think I had a conversation with BJ and earlier this week or whatever, and I think I was messing with him about how the Browns are going to beat them. He said they're still the Browns. Nothing changed, and that's exactly what happened. They're still the Browns. D1 versus D2.
Yeah, hate to even say that. That's just talking trash. But I mean, they proved it. They proved
Yeah,
it time and time again. They proved it.
So yeah, you called that, man. I definitely thought it was gonna be a different way, but it's all right. They gonna have to see them boys again. Them boys gonna be right. Baker gonna come back with vengeance. He gonna be throwing. He gonna be throwing daggone. I don't know. He's gonna do something special. I hope he better. He gotta redeem
they
himself.
they got to get rid of Odell. They got to. They got to. I as good as he is, they have to get rid of him. His he needs the only team that he could probably go to is the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Packers, um, the Seahawks. I'm trying to think of a team that has a quarterback that is secure in himself and ain't gonna be, kind of bullied by a receiver because there are throws that Baker has made in the last year plus this year, and he's forcing the ball. When they didn't have Odell, and at the end of the year when he started cooking, he was cooking because he was free. He was throwing to whoever was open, not trying to force these plays into what I would say a receiver that is having diva moments. Um, and we know diva moments happen. We know receivers got that kind of mantra to them. But at the end of the day, it's very difficult to see him mess up New York, where he was in his market, go to Cleveland, and I thought he was going to eat some humble pie. Didn't do it. Can't do it. So, in my opinion, and I'll throw this out, BJ, if you want to respond or fade, what your thoughts are on whether or not Odell should be gone. Do they need to get rid of him to free up Baker, or does Baker need to figure out how to integrate everybody together?
I like your point. I really like your point about that. It may improve Baker, and I might not like that as a Steelers fan. But one place that I thought of that he could go and be extremely dangerous, and it wouldn't work out this year, but next year, I could see him in Dallas. Dak, Zeke, and him in Dallas. I can see it happen. Jerry Jones knows T.O. I love T.O. I love T.O. My friends hated me because I got a T.O. jersey. I love T.O. They can deal with him, and he can do
Yep.
it in Dallas. And Dak, Dak can handle that. They got old Red Rocket back there now. I don't know how he'll do this year, but bring him in, get him acclimated to Dallas, and next year, maybe the NFC East is a divisional win double digit games. I don't know.
Get your popcorn ready.
That's
I
it.
love some meat.
Why not have to me, for Baker to be a better quarterback, why not overcome this and try to figure it out and work it out with Odell? Not that you have to get through Odell. I mean, everybody here is a grown man and adults and stuff like that. But I don't know, have Odell understand or something that it's about wins. You wasn't winning in New York, and you were bringing it down. So hey, for us to win, for this to happen, I need to go through my progressions. I need to do whatever I need to do. Because even still, if Baker goes through and other guys get open, other guys make plays, Odell, that's only going to open it up for you even more. So I think that for the Browns, that the organization needs to try to get these two to work together. You know, sit them down, try to figure out whatever maybe the issues are or something with Baker. Because I know how old is Baker? I know he's still young.
I'd like to say he's like 24, because I know he stayed through his senior year, and this is what his third year. So I probably say 24, turning 25 or 25.
So that's still young, and you got Odell like 28, 29, almost 30 maybe.
Hey, Fade. I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta say, listen, when Odell Beckham, and I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was the Patriots. I don't know whoever they were playing. When Odell talking about some "come get me," meaning come trade for me, that's a problem. That means
True.
he don't even want to be there. He just want to get his numbers right so he can get his money. Nah, man, Baker don't need that. I'm forcing it to you, Con. Are you talking about to another team come get me while you playing with me? Nah, bro, I ain't even
True.
gonna throw you the ball.
True.
I'm gonna let you sit there and sulk. I'm gonna let you do a headbutt to the little field goal practice net, whatever stuff he was doing in New York. Today he threw his helmet. Like, dude, I'm a sore loser too. Listen, I don't like to lose, but I ain't about to throw my helmet and stuff. I'm not gonna be, you know, I love LeBron and he's the best, but I'm not gonna be a LeBron and take off my jersey and throw it on the ground. Man, listen, I ain't worried about all that. I'm a sore loser, but I'm gonna keep my stuff on. I'm gonna rep my team because that's who I'm gonna ride with. And I feel like Odell is not riding with that team, and that's creating problems with the chemistry. That's creating big problems with the chemistry. And you got LaRon Landry, who y'all was partners. Y'all was boys when y'all was at LSU. If you can't play with him, you might not be able to play with anybody.
So you go to that TO thing where so now why would even another team even want to pick up Odell even with all the talent and all this stuff, you know, everybody blamed everywhere TO went, he was a problem, he was a cancer, blah 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 blah. So it's like although to me I feel like the players are different between Odell and TO. I feel like T.O. was a little misunderstood. I know he was a little diva, he was, but I feel T.O. was more misunderstood. Where I think Odell, he's just a straight diva, and you're right. He could probably go to Cincinnati and he could probably break every receiving record for the next year, and he'd probably be happy.
Yep, and lose.
Yeah, and lose. Yeah.
I must be a little out of the OBJ loop here because I think he's a hell of a talent. Sorry, hell of a. But here's what I see as a Pittsburgher. OBJ, AB. This is all Antonio Brown stuff.
Yeah.
And if you go back and look at Ben Roethlisberger's interceptions, if he was a young rookie like Baker is and he was forcing it, Ben's interceptions over the years, I would bet 30% or more of forcing the ball to Antonio Brown because he needed to get his catches. And that just brings an organization down. Look what happened to the Steelers. It blew up on them, and they luckily cut their losses, and AB had no career after that. So, I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to sit Odell down and say, look what happened to Mr. Antonio Brown, who was almost an NFL MVP. He played that caliber for multiple years, which was just as good or better than Odell. You better play a little bit for the team or at least shut your mouth and do some sit-ups in the driveway and get your attention that way.
Hey, BJ. So what's kind of funny, about what you said. Think about where AB is now, playing nowhere, where he was last year, a train wreck. If Mike Tomlin is that awful, how in the world did he keep AB under wraps that long? That is amazing.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
he is a
And,
basket case. How
oh
did you
yeah.
do that?
I,
You 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 need like a 25-year contract for what you did with him that long,
yep.
because
I,
nobody else could deal with him longer than a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
no. I think Coach T is that good. He can handle it, or he has. No, it's staff too, but I mean the head
Yeah.
man. You get all the criticism, he better get all the credit for that one too. I mean, he kept it together, kept it under wraps, all the dysfunction. You know, just amazing on Antonio Brown, amazing on one end. Coach Tomlin, amazing on the opposite end of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
Hey now,
Because I couldn't
hey now.
believe AB really with the Patriots. How do you mess up your opportunity with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick? Like
See,
that's really all the Patriots needed was AB, and you messed that up.
that's a different story because when you go there, you can't do nothing. Like you got to change your whole identity. that's like that's like becoming a nun.
But he had
Like
Tom in his corner. Like Tom Brady was
Yes.
speaking up for him. Hey, we got you. Like Tom Brady was. Tom Brady was like, "Yo, come on." Tom Brady was like, "Come on, man. I just need you to get your head right. Like we got this."
listen, where's Tom at now?
I mean, true.
Hey,
But he
hey,
got Randy
hey,
Moss in order. He got Randy Moss in order,
hey,
and it benefited them.
Yeah,
They
dude.
and
did,
Dante.
but he left. He left what after 3 years? And he's like, I can't do this no more.
No, 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 no. He wanted money,
He wanted money. Yeah.
and he said
Did
that
he
that
win?
was his biggest regret. His biggest regret was leaving the Patriots. Now, Fave, who did Tom Brady want this summer though? AB. Who did he want Tampa to get? AB. And
We ain't
Tampa
even
said and Tampa
nah,
said we ain't going.
nah.
Hey, I, all I gotta say is I'm sorry. I like AB as a talent. Unfortunately, he might need to go to the loony bin for a little bit and kick it there, and then come back out.
If anyone signed him, he'd be scary because he's that scary of a talent. I feel that way about Lev Bell too. I think Lev Bell is still could be one of the top three backs or number one all-purpose back. He could touch the ball 30 times or more a game, catching and running.
His biggest mistake leaving the Steelers.
Yeah.
That was
Leaving
it.
the Steelers. They knew how to use you. They had a line that could block for you the way you. I, these idiots decide to go chase. Well, I can't even say chase money because the Steelers' offer was more. He just
Right.
wanted more, and when he realized he couldn't get it, it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to the team that I grew up liking. Okay, well, you see how that turned out.
Well, hey,
You see how it turned out.
I don't know if you guys know, Le'Veon Bell probably about to be doing some damage.
I know, I know, I
With
know.
the Chiefs.
Scary.
Oh yeah, I know my brother's ecstatic, but yeah, he about to do some work.
Who?
What
I
do you
didn't hear it.
do? Lev Bell went to the Chiefs. What, like, what do you do? Like, if they're clicking, what can you do? You got two running backs that can come out of the backfield. You got Lev Bell who can line up at slot. You got Hill whose speed do whatever he wants to do. Harmon can do what he wants to do. I mean,
Kelsey underneath.
Yep.
when they're clicking, what can you do?
You,
And then you got Lev Bell knowing that he need to play for another contract. With the best quarterback in the league right now.
well,
What?
I know what you don't do. You don't put the Eagles in that stadium with them because it's gonna be a mess. You don't do that. But what was I about to say? You guys were talking about God, OBJ. Really good player. But you know what though? I don't even think, in my opinion, he's not he like what To was going through. He's not even on the same level as To. Like just as a player, he's not even on the same level as Antonio Brown. He's not even on the same level as Hopkins. He's not even on the same level as freaking
Julio.
Stephon Diggs.
yeah. So I mean, he had really that one good catch. He's really good, but he had that one good catch, and that's basically what propelled him to where he's at now. But really, he hasn't really even done anything since then. Um, but he is really good. I think if he does get to the right team and he does have the right coach, I think that he'll be okay. But yeah, and so that's why I'm like, yeah, he's good talent. And Fave, you were saying, why do people take chances on players like that? And it's the NFL. If you can play, guess what? We gonna try to find a place for you. It don't matter what you need. If we gotta shoot you up before the games, whatever it be, hey, we just gotta win this game. And once we win, hey, so be it. Do what you want to do. I
But do
remember.
you think that who's it? Well, I'll steal this. I know it ain't deep thought yet, but do you think Andy Reid would want to have that on his team?
Heck yeah,
Absolutely.
But
Really?
heck yeah,
To
man.
to potentially mess up that strong chemistry his offense has. You think Andy Reid
It
would take OBJ?
it 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 ain't gonna mess up anything. It ain't gonna mess up anything. They don't. So the issue with OBJ is he doesn't get the rock right, and you have to force the rock to him. You go to that team, and there is no forcing the rock
Yeah,
because who
place for you.
who are you gonna pick? Are you gonna go guard Hill downfield, or are you gonna grab AB? I mean, or OBJ? Are you gonna get Lev Bell? Are you are you gonna get
Kelsey.
Hilaire? I mean Kelsey, Harmon. Who are you gonna get? I mean, there's so many weapons. I think, and Andy Reid is a genius at designing plays, an offensive genius at designing plays. So I think that he would get him touches. Now, again, on that team, you just got to understand I might not get the ball more than three times a game, but it's going to be probably three, maybe four impact plays. But I, he ain't got to worry if somehow, if they get him, you might as well just say, hey, listen, no need to play the Super Bowl. It's COVID year. Let's just crown KC. That's it. I don't care what they defense do. I don't care what they defense do. It don't matter. Y'all don't even have to show up defense. We just gonna have our offense and automatically give them a touchdown. That's it.
Exactly,
And
because
they still gonna win.
Pat Mahomes
And they
can go
still gonna
down
win.
28 and make it look like nothing. Make it look like I still remember. Was it not last year, the year before that? Him and Tom Brady battling it out. That was such
Beauty.
a good game. Oh my
Beauty.
gosh.
But all right, man. Let's go on to that. Hey, that was a great segment. We brought up a lot of good points. But let's go on to the last question. All right. So in sports, does it mean more to have a superstar player with a big contract, or spreading your money out um, to get average or above average players? So we're talking about baseball. Um, we're gonna let BJ go first.
I'm just gonna stick to baseball. Is that
Nah,
what you
well,
want?
I mean,
You can,
you can go wherever you want to go.
I just look at the concept that ultimately it is a team sport. Team sports, you need a team. Okay, yeah, one guy helps. Okay, but ultimately, if you have that team, I believe this. You have that team of solid guys. Somebody is going to step up to be that superstar. Now, it might develop and become one guy in that team who just becomes the man, or it might be like the Chiefs, where you got five the mans on offense. No, not even thinking about defense for them. I just it's the way money goes. You produce that much, you're going to demand that contract. Is that there are those guys that take less, the hometown discount, and those guys I think are the ones that have longevity. They do stuff in the community, and they actually mean the game, and being a teammate means something to them. And I don't know, that's more an old school thought, or I know it still exists today, but it seems to be an old school mentality. Do it for the team, play for the name on the front of the jersey, not on the back. But superstars come and go. I think, and it's they're team sports. Down to basketball, it's still five guys and still seven guys on the bench. We preach to junior high kids that I coach and high school kids. Even if you're not on the field playing, you're a part. Special teams, it's that one play. It might be that play. You might show on scout team that you might show the starter what to do, and they make the play in the game. So you have a hand in it. So just my background, my mentality. Yeah, I love those guys. You love the superstars because they can do so much. They can carry a team to wins, to championships even. But if you put one football player out there against 11 other guys, it ain't happening. One basketball player against five, it ain't gonna work. You need a team.
Mm, I
Oh,
like it.
BJ, unless you had Jordan on that team.
Uh,
Nope. Mm-mm.
that's hard to
Swear, I
argue.
had to say that because I knew you were gonna say something.
Well, there's no argument that he's the best ever. So we're
There
gonna
we go,
stick to the
BJ.
team.
Yeah, I knew it was some reason why I like you. You probably got him on your feet right now, don't you?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. Tomorrow.
Man.
Go ahead, fix your face.
Don't want to get you distracted there, Drew. I knew I was waiting for that to throw that in there when I heard your LeBron comment earlier. He's a,
I'm not even
he's,
I'm not even I'm not even gonna address that a coach had to come in and change the way that he played in order for him to win a championship. He'd have been Carl Malone.
ooh,
He'd have been he'd have been Chuck Barkley. He would have never won one because all he cared about was scoring championships and leading the league in scoring, playing a little bit of defense and being a superstar. But we're not gonna go there. And I'm gonna give, I guess, two examples. So one example I look at when we look at baseball and is Dante's Tampa Bay Rays. I still want to call them the Devil Rays. I know they changed it to just the Rays,
Yeah, I'll be
but
honest.
um, they are what I consider an outlier team. Um, they're at the very bottom, and I don't know the exact number. I'd like to say they're like 27th in the league as far as payroll, 28th in the league in payroll. Charlie Morton is making the most on their team at 15 million, and nobody else is making money. So, what prompted this question was the Rays. So their premise is they don't want top end starters really to go 7 innings. So they don't believe in paying their starters. But what they believe is getting good, hard throwing bullpen. And what they say is we can have a guy go five because a guy can go 5 innings. And then from 5 innings on, six, seven, eight, and nine, we can have flamethrowers coming out of the bullpen that you only face for 1 inning. And why is that? Because in baseball, usually, if A guy's unhittable. He might be unhittable the first time around the lineup. Well, now he has to go through the lineup again. But when you're only throwing for one inning, maybe an inning and a half, you're not allowing guys to bat around. So they're not getting used to you in that game. So it's that uncomfortableness of, okay, well, it's a new pitcher in there. It's a new arm angle. It's new velocity. It's new movement. It's not the same thing. Guys can't sit there and talk back and forth like, what did you see on your at bat? What did you see on your at bat? Okay, well, as soon as you do that, they got another guy coming out of the pen. And I think it's amazing to see the Rays where they are, where they're not spending to where they should be at the top of the league, but yet in the regular season they were the number one team, and coming out, and obviously now they're in the World Series as a number one team. So I think the way that they're doing it is what I would hope sports can do. Now, the issue comes in with the team versus the superstar. Y'all down there in Tampa don't even support them. The stadium's empty.
That's true.
Nobody wants to go. Their revenue, so even though they're winning, their revenue sharing, they're getting money from all the teams that are making money. So that's where I think the big issue comes in is I think there has to be some type of star power that draws people in. And I know on some radio shows that I've listened to, they've talked about, well, you know, the stadium's garbage. They're on the other side of the water. They're really St. Pete's team, not Tampa's team. You know, and I get all that, but are you telling me if the LA Lakers were across the water that Lakers fans aren't going to go? Are you telling me that if the Chiefs fans are really Chiefs fans, if they go 30 minutes down, they're not going to show up for their team? Are you telling me if Baltimore, Philadelphia, who's a great team, they're not going to show up for their teams? So I think that premise doesn't go well with me to say, oh, well, they're on the other side of the water. Well, if you're a fan, you're a fan, right? Um, the other thing I wanted to kind of point to is the Patriots. When we look at the Patriots and the Steelers, as much as I don't like them, when you look at those two organizations, there's a value that they have for you. What they say, and I'll even put Seattle in this. Basically, what those three teams say is, you come in here, you do what you got to do. We'll do the best that we can to give you money, but at the end of the day, if that's not enough for you, you go ahead and get your money elsewhere. No harm, no foul. That's just the way they run. I think Seattle takes it to a far extreme where they shoot so low on a lot of these guys, get the undrafted guys, the seventh round guys, they play them up, and they know for sure they can't pay them, right? Because there's no way that you take this seventh round guy. That jump is so high because he wasn't eating anything into your cap, and now he's smashing your cap. Where you get a Tom Brady or a Russell Wilson, and they're already making decent money. So to give them a bump, you're only increasing your salary cap maybe 5 million, maybe 7 million. When you take a guy making Dak Prescott, I think he made what 4 million in his entire career so far. But when you take a guy like that and he's asking now for 30 some million dollars, right? That cap number, that gap is huge. You're talking about a $30 million gap. So I think that's where the issue and problem. But I think team matters most. Sports are built for the most part so that the best team wins. Football is the only, besides NCAA basketball tournament, is the only one that I can say not always the best team wins. Whoever played best that day wins. But when you go in a series with baseball, in basketball, in hockey, in tennis, when you go to any of these, you're talking about a difference of you got to beat this team X amount out of X amount of games. And the likelihood of a lesser team doing that is going to be slim to none. So, star power is great, team is better. If you're trying to make money, you got to have the star. Odell Beckham is Odell Beckham because he has star power. Dante, you alluded to it. He's not what I'd probably say maybe top 10, somewhere around there. Top 10, top
Top
12,
15.
top 15. Okay. So he's maybe top 15, but as far as star power, he's probably top 5,
Yeah,
right?
without a doubt.
Hopkins Hopkins is a far better receiver, but you don't hear about him because he doesn't do that showboating. He doesn't do those things. He comes to work with my lunch pail just like Larry Fitzgerald did, and
Yes, sir. Sorry.
I am going to do my craft, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't need to do all the extra stuff. And that's why I love those guys because Larry Fitzgerald has been a lifer as far as it comes to his career. He could have left, he could have got more money elsewhere, but he said, I'm going to stick here and I'm going to do my job because this is what I signed up to do. I love it. So, team over superstar, unless maybe you're in New York or maybe you just care about making money. But if you care about winning, it's about team. And the Patriots showed that. They paid one dude, really, besides they just paid Gilmore, but they paid one dude, really. That's it. And that's Tom Brady.
Did they
And
really pay Tom Brady?
they barely paid him.
No, they didn't. Dante, they paid Tom Brady. It doesn't look like they paid Tom Brady because
Really.
every year they restructured his contract and gave him the money up front. So it looks like, oh, he's like the 10th highest paid quarterback. No, he's not. They gave him the signing bonus. They just did that to Ben Roethlisberger last year before he got hurt. Said, you know what? We need some cap space, so we're gonna give you the money up front. But why do they not like doing that? Because Ben Roethlisberger went down, and that's all money wasted.
Mm.
Because they had to give it to him up front. Julio Jones, uh, what was it? 90 million dollar contract. What did he get? 60 million of it as a signing bonus. Why? Because now the year to year doesn't look as bad.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Makes sense. So to me, with the superstar question, I'll kind of stick more to football and basketball. So for me, it's kind of like it depends on the sport and the position. Where a superstar in basketball to me has more can have more of an impact on the game, and then whereas in football, a superstar can have an impact on the game. Just depends on the position. Like a quarterback would have more impact than a receiver. So I kind of took a different look at this. When you say superstar, I would go superstar on my team, but a different type of superstar. So, i.e., a superstar, your LeBrons, a Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes. Why these kind of guys? Because they attract other players. They're making my job easier and they're making the talks easier because I have a LeBron James on my team who guys resonate with and who guys want to play with. So therefore, I can probably get better players under better deals to help the team. And probably win more games and stuff like that. So that's where I would be looking at. Like you don't have people nobody you probably would you guys say Russell Westbrook. He was superstar,
Yeah.
right? But you didn't have guys running the OKC and line up necessarily to play with him. But every year, after every season, you always hear, oh, LeBron, this person trying to do this. Like what I read the other day, actually, that Chris Paul potentially could go to the Lakers. Like, yo, that's sick. That is sick. But that is what a superstar like LeBron James can do. And I'm sure that's just like, Steph Curry. You had Steph, Dre, and all those guys. And now you had KD who wanted to go there. The coach, like I'm the coach GM, I don't have to necessarily do anything but talk the contract. The players now just attracted this superstar that now, they went and won a bunch of games. So for me, and I don't know if there's a way that you could, judge or probably tell that a superstar would do that. So I don't even know how you would find like this guy is gonna have other guys wanting to come here and wanting to play here. Just like you alluded to with the Patriots, they people wanted to go and play with Tom Brady and play with Belichick because they knew I'm going to win. It's like you already knew. I know I ain't gonna make a bunch of money, but I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna win games. Just like if I'm a receiver or running back, and if Andy Reid or if Pat Mahomes is like, "Yo, you wanna come here?" Yeah, okay, Pat. I'm coming to play for you, Pat, for sure, because we're going to win games. So to me, it would be that type of superstar that can attract other players.
Hey, hey, Fade.
Yeah,
I was gonna say real quick, just something that was amazing. When Dante and I was coaching at GCC, I remember we had a lineman that went to Mount Union. Now he goes on his recruiting visit. Now he was getting looks at by a couple of Division II schools, I should say a lot of Division II schools. Um, and then he goes D3, and I'm like, why you go D3? He said, well, I went on my recruiting trip and they said, well, you come in here as a freshman, you're guaranteed one championship. Okay. So you're telling me I go to a D2, who knows what's going to happen? Or I go to a D3 and I'm guaranteed at least one championship? Hey, man, I'm on my way. On my way.
Yep.
So go ahead, BJ.
Faye, that was a great way to think about the superstar, just an angle that I never even thought of. I just want to say there's one exception to that rule. LeBron just couldn't woo anyone to Cleveland. He couldn't
No.
get a second
True.
big name there, man.
True.
He couldn't get a second one there. And I have faded in my love for LeBron. I wanted to see him play his whole career in Cleveland.
Yeah.
As much as I dislike Cleveland from a football side, if he would have stayed there, but I do understand that. I couldn't believe because I would have went to Cleveland to play with him. I just didn't understand. He couldn't get anyone there.
Because Wade had to teach him how to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of players.
He went back after that.
Huh?
He went back to Cleveland after
Yeah.
that.
After Wade taught him how, like, come on, man, you remember that meltdown against Dallas? That I've never seen anything like. I remember Wade saying, "Come on, man, I need you," and LeBron just
He
gone.
needed to pass that love on to Kyrie. I don't know what happened there, but when Kyrie left, he even though he went to the green, the grass wasn't greener in Boston. There was no LeBron in Boston.
Yep.
And it might not be greener in Brooklyn.
Nah.
Hey, Faye, what was that you just said
What?
about LeBron? Wade had to say what to him?
Come on, man. Listen, man. That was his first time in the championship and all of that stuff. Hey, man, it happens.
Listen,
It was a big moment. It happens.
Guess what? Ain't nobody had to do that to Jordan.
Oh my goodness.
Hey. But
No.
that wasn't his game though. That wasn't his game. His game was not being a leader. He never learned how to be a leader.
Yes.
Had he have had Phil Jackson, you're talking about something. Jordan didn't know how to lead. Hey, listen. Hold on, Dante. Hold on, Dante. Hold on. Let me.
Did he not win a national championship in college?
He won a national championship because he played with the best coach ever.
But
Hold on.
You
What
don't
did
think
Jordan say?
he had a lead?
Who? No, he did not know how to lead. Who was the only person that could stop Jordan?
Jordan.
College coach, Dean. The only one that could stop Jordan was him because he played ball control and didn't let Jordan do nothing. Now, let's hit Jordan when Jordan came into the league. Are you telling me if Jordan was a leader? Listen, now he demanded and later in life he wanted you to be great, but you tell me in the documentary when, guys is smoking and drinking and doing things, a leader lets that happen? You're in season, cuz. We got a game tomorrow. And you toe up from the flow up? That's
Hey,
a leader.
that was his rookie year.
So again, LeBron was young-minded at the time,
But that
and
wasn't
he
LeBron.
needed
He was a
everybody
rookie in
matures
the
differently.
championship.
And
Everybody matures differently when it comes to how they play.
also before he went to Miami, I do believe that he did make it to the finals.
Yes, he did.
He,
Yes, he did.
so
Okay.
so so
So
when
what you
when
saying?
hold on. First of all, let's talk about LeBron teams and let's talk about Jordan teams. How
Oh
many
no,
times?
no,
Hold on. No, no, no,
answer the
no, no.
question. Answer that question before you go there. Answer that question. He made it to a finals before Jordan did, and then he gets to a superstar team, and you got Dwayne Wade saying, "Come on, bro, I need you. Come
He
on,
said,
now."
he said, I need you because he needed him. LeBron deflected to Dwayne Wade because that
Yep.
was Dwayne Wade's team. Dwayne Wade basically at that point was like, "Nah, man, I can't be that. I need you."
Yep.
On the flip side of what I'm saying, which plays into what you're talking about, how many times was LeBron an underdog in a finals series? How many times? Every single one except for this year. Except for this year. When he was at Miami, they weren't well, wait. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, they were no
No,
underdog.
no, no. When they went against the Spurs, they were underdogs.
Yeah, they were.
When they went against the
Okay.
Spurs, they were underdogs. LeBron has played a better team. When he beat OKC, that was probably when they were picked to win. I, I'm just saying the Bulls were picked to win every single time after they made it after the first one, after they beat everybody, after everybody was off of their prime. After that,
Oh gosh.
Celtics
Hey,
back of their prime.
hey. it it's like that. Hey man, you can't be on top forever, man.
So
Like
so
like Pope
Jordan,
Daddy said, we
so
go.
6 years in, Jordan had to the weight room because he wasn't strong enough, he wasn't big enough to be able to deal with the pounding that the NBA had at that time. He was just a scorer. So then he said, I got to retool my body. So is that you being part of your craft? Because at that point he just got tired of losing. If he didn't get tired of losing, he just wanted to keep scoring. He wouldn't have got bigger. He just would have said, you know what? But he got that man moment where he had to turn into a man. That's when he turned into a man. LeBron turned into a man in that man moment when Dwayne Wade was like, I need you in that first run for a championship. After that, you can't say anything about LeBron and what he did or did not do, or I'm sorry, what he didn't do in a game to try to win. He single
Uh,
handedly he single handedly almost won with Matthew Dellavedova.
hey, that boy got a hey,
Matthew
listen,
Dellavedova.
that boy got a nice
Ye-
shot. Don't downplay that boy's shot.
Your two superstars are supposed to be superstars gone, and you're playing with Matthew Dellavedova. Come
Listen,
on, man.
listen.
Listen, Jarrell, this is
He,
gonna kill it right here. He came back from the best team in the NBA. He came back.
Yes, on the Warriors.
but that would, but
Splash.
you know what though? I'm not gonna say it's an asterisk. I'm not gonna say that. But however, LeBron did. He was smart, and he got into it with your boy
Draymond.
because if he did not, if Draymond would have probably been good and didn't play, they probably don't come back and win.
Basketball IQ.
Yes.
And then on top of
Basketball
that,
IQ.
Mhm.
people got hurt too. So, uh,
Absolutely. The game that Draymond was out, I think Bogut got hurt
Yep.
and
yeah.
somebody else got hurt. But hey, listen, that that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast.
But listen, regardless of what you say, Jordan never need nobody to say, "Come on, Jordan, I need you." Scotty never had to do, "Come on, Jordan." Hey, I need you. Come on, bro.
Phil Jackson did it.
It's
Phil
shots.
Jackson said, "I need you to pass it to Paxson." Phil Jackson said, "I need you to step up as a leader and pass it to Paxson.
But
Do
that's not
something different."
But that's not what Dwayne Wade was saying. Dwayne Wade was saying, I need you to take over the game. And Jordan's like, I'm always willing to take over the game. I'm one pass. Give me the rock. Give me the rock.
But
He was like,
hey,
T.O., just
hey,
throw me the ball. Just throw
you
me the ball.
you are 100% correct.
That's all
LeBron's
I'm trying to
nature,
say.
LeBron's nature is not to take over a game. LeBron's nature is to be the best teammate possible and give whoever and set whoever up with the last shot. Dame Lillard, Dame Lillard said just I think it was last week and said LeBron made the best basketball play, but I'm taking that shot. I respect you, Dame. I respect Kobe. I respect Jordan. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about the best basketball player, I want a player that is a team guy. We just talked about team, but I want a team guy. I don't want a guy that says, you know what, I'm gonna take the worst shot when I got wide open. But what happened? Big shot Ori. How many championships did he win? Fisher. How many championships did he win? Just saying. You got two of the best coaches. You got two of the best coaches that coach those teams, and they understood in crunch time, if we got a dude wide open, we're going to pass the ball. That's what we need to do. But Jordan didn't do that until Phil said, Paxson is sitting there wide open and we about to give him. And what that documentary said, he said, then I passed it to him, he made a shot. And then I gave it to him again and he made another shot. I gave it to him again and he made another shot. So after that, and he believed in his teammates, that's when that championship started happening because Jordan didn't believe in his teammates. LeBron is saying, I believe in y'all. And again, I would love LeBron to take the last shot. But at the end of the day, if you tell me that the better basketball shot is somebody else taking it, that's basketball IQ. If I have basketball IQ, I am far better than somebody who just decides to say, I'm going to be stupid and maybe I'll hit a lucky shot. I'm just saying,
I'm
basketball IQ.
so listen. Okay, what
Hold
you're
on, hold
saying?
up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I want to ask this question. Jarrell, do you think Matthew Dellavedova can take down John Paxson one on one?
Nope.
Who's the best? You, who? Oh, he's so much of a better athlete than John Paxson. Oh,
So defensively, I think he could get stops off of Paxson because Paxson was basically a knockdown shooter that didn't really have much else skill. Couldn't really put the ball on the deck really. Yeah,
no.
yeah. I mean, you're right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Paxson
I think.
dribbled up the half court, give it to Mike. That's it.
Thank you, BJ, for making that point.
Hey, he's right. I ain't gonna lie.
All I'm saying is, I like LeBron. LeBron is a great player. He's the best player in the NBA right now by far. I'm just saying you need to get off his job a little bit and say, you know what? Yeah, he should be taking more shots because I know he want to be a great teammate, but guess what? He could have took other shots. He could have been and not just passing the ball all willy nilly and just being the man saying, you know what, I'm gonna take over the game because that's what you want your superstars to do. You want your best player to take over the game. That's what you want.
So Dante, what you're saying is you want Patrick Mahomes to throw it to Tyreek Hill when he's triple covered and hope that Tyreek finds a way to come. No, 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 no.
That's
On
someone.
hold on. Game five, when LeBron passed the ball, and I'm not even gonna say his name, Stank Butt, missed a rhythm three to ice the game, and people were saying, "Oh, I'd have took that shot." You're saying you want to go up against three guys and try to make a shot or give it to a guy open. So you're telling me, "Oh, hey Tom Brady, listen, why don't you throw in the triple coverage uh, on fourth?" or was it double coverage on fourth down to Rob Gronkowski just the other week, and then you lose the game and forget what down it is. Um, go go ahead and do that. No, because if like they said, if he would have realized what down it was, he would have been more conservative. He would have took somebody that was open when he had a open running back that was leaking out of the backfield. So I want somebody to distribute and be smart with the ball. I love Jordan, and Jordan would take that last shot. But I don't want you taking the last shot if it is not a high percentage. So I'm going to go and shoot a three when I got a dunk sitting there wide open to win the game? No, you stupid idiot. Win the game. It don't matter who scores last as long as you win the game. You play to win the game.
But this is what I'm saying. I want him to take over, and he doesn't. And he, you know what? I take that back because he did take over this game. He took over, like he went off, and that's what I'm
He
saying.
he
That's
took over. He took over in Miami. He took. He just
and
didn't do. He just didn't do late game. He just didn't do. He wasn't a closer. He wasn't a. Dwayne Wade was supposed to be the closer.
Yep.
He did first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and Dwayne Wade was supposed to be the closer. And Dwayne Wade needs lacking a little bit, which is okay. But that Dwayne Wade was never a knockdown shooter. That's why I told you a couple weeks ago, LeBron has never gone to a superstar team. He went to a team that had players that had never played together because to me, Dwayne Wade didn't fit what LeBron does well. They're two of the same players.
Yep.
Chris Bosh does not necessarily fit what they did well at that time. He grew into that role. Dirk Nowitzki was a free agent. That was a better fit for LeBron than anybody else, if you want to look at it. But next year, CP and Carmelo, Lakers, book it,
You think
superstar.
Carmelo?
Oh,
book it.
He wants to win one. There's no doubt.
I'm not even gonna talk about. I'll make my. I want. We started talking about something totally different. So the question was, Jarrell, you was right. The Rays are out of 31 teams, 30 teams, they are sitting at 27.
Yeah.
Far as yeah, it's ridiculous. My favorite team is the Pirates, and I wish the Pirates would do something like that. The crazy thing is, a bunch of the players that played um, in the playoffs, they played for the Pirates. Crazy. Um, but I think they did it right, and they did this a couple years ago when they went to the playoffs. They don't really spend a lot of money. They do a really good job of um, evaluating their talent and getting the right people on the team, and I think that a lot of teams could do that. That that can't generate that money. Just making sure you get the right people on the team. But I don't know. Like I think like you guys said, I think I would like to have a mix between having some profile players on the team, and then having some average players because you don't have to have like definitely a pitcher. I need to pay him. I need to have an ace on the team. Maybe a big hitter. And maybe like one other two players that probably like three or four players that's getting paid, and then the rest of the players are like average players, and hoping that they're able to gel together and do well. But I ain't gonna go on because I know it's starting to get late. But that's what I got, Fave. Go ahead, the segment, Fave.
All
Well,
right.
Faye,
So
before you go in, hold on, before you go in. So Dante, what
Yeah.
do you think Pittsburgh would be like if Pittsburgh had Tampa's team? What would the city of Pittsburgh be like?
It would
DJ,
be
you can answer too.
it would be nuts, bro. Because it's already nuts and they not good,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um, and like I said, I like the Pirates because that's where they do this spring training in my hometown in Bradenton, so I love them. But they need to get rid of the ownership. Period.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, the Pirates did have a decent 2-year run, like 5 years ago. They made the playoffs. They won a game. I mean, it was electric. I mean, it was all anyone would talk about. You know, they're crazy fans in a great sports city. And then when you win, I mean, then they won it. They won it. I don't know if they'd trade a Super Bowl for a World Series, but I think some people might. You
Yeah.
know, they just want. Everybody loves a winner, and Pittsburgh's used to winning. And I tell you, the Pirates have ruined my taste for baseball, and I still would say that they are my favorite team. But like Dante said, that's an ownership thing. I mean, they didn't lose a dime this year, and so they didn't care. They made their money before the first pitch. They were already out of the red and into the black, and that's all that they care about.
Yep. And that mentality sucks because I'd like to say either the Pirates have a higher payroll or close to the same payroll as what Tampa Bay has. And so you could easily do what Tampa Bay has, and then, you know, I guess that would mess up their revenue sharing, and they might not get as much because they would make a little bit of money. They actually might make their own money. I don't want to make my own money. I want to make the Yankees money. That's what they doing. Up, tie game. Sorry. Faye, you wanna head us into the last segment?
So the last segment, guys, here is Deep Thought, where we take your guys' questions and comments and we give you our deep thought. So the first thing we got, Byron says, Patriots, LOL, Parrots. Jimmy Strong says, Dante, he says, hey D, I know we having a hard time, but take it easy on my Eagles.
Sorry, Jimmy. Boys, trash.
We already talked about OBJ with Andy Reid. Horace had said he can do it with Andy Reid because Andy had T.O. Freaking Donovan just had to get his head out of his butt. Pat doesn't mind forcing awesome throws to awesome receivers. True. Pat Mahomes do be trying some stuff. He do be trying some stuff. But I guess that's when you got that kind of trust with your guys. I mean, what he be throwing no looks, offhand. And then Steven Arson says Ravens Nation.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
yes,
so listen,
sir.
The next 2 weeks, man, you guys got to circle these games. So next week, the Ravens play the Titans, both undefeated. It's going to be a great game. And then the following week, Ravens and Steelers. That's going to be a game. So they got 2 games back to back. I was looking at the Steelers schedule and I was like, oh, they ain't really played nobody. So it's about to get interesting.
I seen the one play with your boy Henry. Still farming that guy?
Yeah.
Woo.
He a beast. That's a beast. Yeah.
Well, I asked them last week, BJ. Let me ask you: can you go out there and tackle Henry?
I tell you what, I can try. I cannot. I would guarantee that. I would try, but there's no way. Not a chance.
That train is leaving the station and it ain't stopping.
No chance.
Until it reaches its destination.
Exactly.
My only chance is he wouldn't try and make a move on me, move his hips at all, just run me over and trip on me as he went by. Yeah. That's it.
Oh gosh.
Which is
I did my job.
Yes, sir.
I did my job. I got him down. By any means necessary. Shoelace.
All right,
wow.
fellas. Any last words before we head out of here? Oh,
I
Chuck
definitely
Wood
want
said
to
he
thank
could, that he
BJ.
could
Oh,
tackle him. You think so, Chuck?
all right, man. Much love to you, cause I can't. BJ, I definitely want to say thank you for coming on. It's always a little bit longer segment when we have special guests on. We definitely want to give them their time to shine, and you know, I appreciate you, man. I wish you luck in the rest of your season. Obviously, kids in their little baseball seasons, but just wish you well, man. So don't be a stranger. Obviously tune in as well, and hopefully we can get you back on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jerome. Fabe, Dante, thank you. This was awesome. Tons of fun. I won't be able to
Yeah, man.
sleep tonight. I'm too hyped. Love it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Dante, any last words?
Yeah, man. Chuck Wood. I don't know if you'll be able to tackle him, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I saw you miss the tackle on the quarterback. You should have had sacks. So I don't know.
Whoo!
No, Chuck. But other than that, man, appreciate you guys staying on and watching. I know, like Jarrell said, it was a little bit longer, but we appreciate it. Um, we always trying to bring that fire, that intensity, that passion about what we like. And remember, Jordan is better than LeBron. Let's go.
Anywho, thank you all again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week. And I'll just leave you with this. The only reason Jordan had open shots is because he pushed off. You all have